night to you, my Straight Talk family in St. Kitts and Nevis, and to all of you, wherever you are in the Eastern Caribbean. It's my time to bid you good night. Chico is out and Patches is in with another edition of Straight Talk. It's also my time to say goodnight to my family in the Kittitian and Nevisian diaspora. Some of you I know are in Africa. There's some of you in Asia, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I can say good afternoon, and I'm at liberty as well to say good morning, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. Perhaps on a short, or what am I saying, perhaps we're just getting over this lockdown wherever we are in the world as we speak, because this pandemic is still with us and has no intention, it seems, to go away. My Straight Talk family, if you're joining me for the first time, Straight Talk, no matter what you will hear them say, no matter how they try to label Straight Talk, it is a public, underlying public service program that facilitates and promotes all issues, underlying all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let us in the process continue to keep St. Kitts and Nevis as one of the freest countries in the entire world. On this program, we try also to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And if you're joining me for the first time, Straight Talk, I must inform you, is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls, we include your emails, and if you're so minded to call, the numbers of 465-2555 and 718-577-2916. That's 465-2555 and or 718-577-2916. My Straight Talk family. And for those of you who I like to say love the cloak of anonymity, we give you an opportunity to participate by using our email platform. Our email platform, that is ZIZ Straight Talk. That's S, what am I saying? ZIZSTRAIGHTT. That's ZIZ, that's, let me get that together again. ZIZSTRAIGHTTALK. That's ZIZ Straight Talk, one word, at gmail.com. discourse.com. I struggled to get across my straight dog family, but forgive me, I am getting there. So yes, if you have joined me for the first time as well, we come to you every Monday and a Thursday, like today, from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. my straight dog family. So yes, I provide that public service no matter what you may hear them try to say. And tonight I've come back to remind us that in St. Kitts, Nevis and the globe, we are still in the midst of a pandemic. And it is spreading. It is still spreading like a wildfire. We are racing against time. As of yesterday, St. Kitts and Nevis confirmed 64 cases according to the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Hazel Laws. We had 3 additional cases and we are now at 64 cases, my straight dog family, and that is really nerve-wracking, at least to me.
Okay, so over the past 24 hours, we have identified 3 additional confirmed cases of COVID-19. So at present, we now have a total of 64 confirmed cases of COVID-19 being reported by the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. As you can see, 50 St. Kitts, 14 Nevis. 45 of these cases have recovered fully, and at present, we are monitoring 9 active cases. Please note that the 3 additional cases are linked to previous cases.
I think though we're monitoring 19 cases, if my mathematics is correct. I am very cautious to be at variance with the CMO, who's doing such a wonderful job for the last year and more. But that's beside the points, my straight dog family, because since March 2020, we have never had so many cases at the same time. That too is nerve-wracking, my straight dog family. That too is nerve-wracking, my straight dog family. And at this point in time, we are monitoring, I said, 19 cases according to the Chief Medical Officer. So we do have 64 cases. I tried to find out from my vantage point if there were any new cases today. I did not confirm that, and I trust and hope they are not. But I know, nonetheless, there has been so far an aggressive contract tracing, because that case announced last week Wednesday was what we call a homegrown case by straight dog family.
In terms of the contact tracing, we've been, we've touched and tested yesterday, up until yesterday, over 700 persons, and today alone we will be testing over 200 persons. Now, the Ministry of Health team went to the Washington Archibald High School, we went to the Bastia High School, and the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School earlier today. As I speak, the Ministry of Health, or the Public Health team, is presently at the Tyrrell Williams Primary School.
Yes, so an aggressive contract tracing is going on, my straight dog family, and that is very important. And the fact is, though, that The virus is back in the country, and we now have a cluster of cases which can be followed by community transmission or community spread, as happened in St. Lucia, it happened in St. Vincent, it happened in Barbados, in nearby Antigua, in Jamaica, in Trinidad, and other countries in the Caribbean and the world for that matter. But really, my straight dog family, the virus is back with us, and we have to do everything in our powers to ensure that we stay safe, do the things that are right, my straight dog family, and use the tool that is available to us, my straight dog family. But the virus is back, believe it or not, my straight dog family. And vaccination has greatly reduced the burden of infectious diseases. I can understand the question of vaccine safety, but that is getting more public attention. Vaccine safety seems to be getting more attention, and perhaps rightly so. I don't know. But it's getting more attention than vaccination effectiveness. But if you do your research, you will find that independent experts and the World Health Organization have shown that vaccines are far safer than therapeutic medicines. The fact is, if you are not immunized, if you ain't vaccinated, to use colloquial language, then you will be exposed to the virus, and this in turn exposes our health facilities if those who are seriously infected have to be hospitalized. Thank God that has not happened to date, and we keep our fingers crossed and we pray, because that would bring into question how many beds do we have in the hospital, how many respirators do we have, and these are two major questions we'll have to ask. And I want to repeat, and many of you have been calling me and sending me lots of WhatsApp messages and text messages about how I've been accused or cursed and all sorts of things. But I won't respond. I always apply the Mark Twain theory. You do not argue with an idiot, because you'll have to get down to their level and they will beat you with experience. I hope I said it right. But I want to repeat, pay no mind to those panic factories in the country. You must be your own stewards. You must manage your own bodies. And you must make the right decision for yourself. Do not let the negative influence that comes from those, or rather from one particular panic factory, and I never named any panic factory, but you know the panic factory. And this panic factory has a host. I haven't called his name. I ain't call his name. But his name short, it has just 2 letters of the alphabet. You know the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. I hope I got it right. Let me tell you the alphabet again. His name is short and he has 2 letters of the alphabet. And I started the alphabet. Let's go together. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. I'm going to stop right there. You know his name from the letters in the alphabet. But he was gloating. He was gloating about a new case of the virus in St. Kitts, Nevis. And trust me, even at this moment, I am still saddened by the way this host of the panic factory was gloating. I was saddened. I was saddened by the manner in which the host was gloating. You heard him. You heard him yourself.
But you know you are not gonna take no vaccine. Holiday weekend, no outside for none of you. No party this weekend, no party this weekend, Lord.
And I didn't fabricate that. The host was gloating. Enough for that non-entity, my straight dog family. But the seriousness of the situation is, my straight dog family, I ask you, do not let it discourage you. Do not let anyone, as a matter of fact, discourage you from doing what is right. That is to use the only tool that is available to us in fighting this battle against this coronavirus-induced pandemic. And that tool is the AstraZeneca vaccine. No one has disputed the importance of vaccines. You've heard that 90% of all the doctors in St. Kitts and Nevis have taken the vaccine. All the doctors have testified that the vaccine works. I haven't heard anyone to the contrary. You've heard the CMO, even before we got the vaccine, she said how safe the vaccines are.
Vaccines have saved millions of lives every year.
Yes, she told us that vaccine works. Yes, she said vaccine works.
Vaccines have saved millions of lives every year. Vaccines work.
Yes, we know vaccines work, my straight dog family. Even the leader of the opposition, who is a doctor, if he's still a doctor, he himself said this about the vaccines.
One way of affecting the continuous spread is in fact to be vaccinated. And so the idea is this: vaccination can definitely prevent you from getting the disease.
Yes, everyone agrees that vaccinations can prevent you from getting the disease. Another doctor in our midst, Dr. Warner, went back to the days when we had mumps. How many of us remember when we used to have mumps, when your swollen jaw, your jaws got swollen and so on? And Dr. Warner went back to those days.
In terms of this strong anti-vaccine movement, it was a simple case like mumps. The few people in this population were infertile. They can't make babies because of mumps infection. But what has protected so many people against that is that the MMR vaccine, which part of it is against mumps, has helped in preventing people from being exposed to that infertility. So while some people have a strong anti-vaccine campaign, they need to know that vaccines can have tremendous benefit.
Even the Rhodes Scholar had to confess, having taken his 2 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine, he himself confessed how good AstraZeneca is.
We have a safe and effective vaccine, the AstraZeneca vaccine. We are 15% fully vaccinated. Persons who are fully vaccinated will become fully immunized in 2 weeks. Vaccination is the administration of the vaccine. immunization means that your antibody levels have topped up. That takes place about 2 weeks later.
So you understand that? Vaccines are safe. The AstraZeneca is safe. He said it.
Safe and effective vaccine, the AstraZeneca vaccine. We are 15% fully vaccinated. Persons who are fully vaccinated will become fully immunized in 2 weeks.
And yes, Dr. Carmen Wilson, our other soldier, who's been in the bunkers fighting with Dr. Laws and his health team, the Health Emergency Operations Committee, he told us about the tool, the only tool we had available to us.
We may be able to contain this cluster and move forward, but the virus will keep coming, and we will have other clusters again. And the way you can prepare yourself and learn from this one is to go out and get vaccinated, because we've said repeatedly the reason why adults have to get vaccinated is so that they can protect those who cannot be vaccinated. They can protect their children. And so if we get to this safely, the next case that comes in, I would hope that every parent who has a school child, they will go and get vaccinated. I will hope that every teacher will be vaccinated, so that those precious persons in our federation who are the future of this country, they would have a protective shield around them, so we would not have to be dealing with this problem once more again. And so the message we have to keep repeating is go out and get vaccinated, because that is our best tool in fighting in this pandemic.
And you know, he said protect our children. And it is saddening, it is also frightening, that out of the last 16 cases, 7 of them are children.
There are now 16 active cases, the highest number since we started our COVID response. These cases include 7 children between the ages of 3 years and 15 years.
7 children between the ages of 3 and 15 years. And that is frightening. We have to protect our children. We have to protect those, our senior citizens as well, my straight dog family. So, as I said before, it is saddening to me when doctors, or some doctors, can promulgate a disingenuous position about waiting on something you do not have, or a vaccine you do not have. We've heard the old proverb which speaks to a stitch in 9 which saves 9. The old English proverb, which simply means you should fix something before it gets damaged, or do not wait to deal with a specific problem. If not, things will get worse and the problems will take longer to deal with. And that's what happened in our case. Things have gotten worse. I'm sure as well, many of us would have heard the old adage, faith without work is dead. So you have faith in some other vaccine. What happens to the one that's available? And I'm not a Baptist, but in fact, I'm a Moravianite. By that I mean I belong to the Moravian Church. But over the years, I listened to some interesting sermons by an American Southern Baptist pastor and conservative author, Adrian Rogers, who has gone to the great beyond. But he wrote, in his entitled, or I believe I should say, titled book, The Autopsy of a Dead Faith. In this book, Rogers wrote, man is saved by faith alone, but the faith that saves is never alone. You heard that? Man is saved by faith alone, but the faith alone that saves, or the faith that saves rather, is never alone. It is being said that we are saved by grace through faith unto good works. Now, the experts in theology amongst us would hasten to find the epistle of James. I can hear my Bible man in the audience making his own case. Because in James chapter 2, in particular verses 17, 20, and 26, it strongly supports the view, as I said before, that faith without works is dead. Verse 17 reads, and I quote, in the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. In verse 20, it reads, and I quote, you foolish person, do you want evidence that faith without deeds is useless? And it goes on in verse 26, and I quote, as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. There's a well-known parable or succinct or short story that illustrates this very instructive lesson or principle under the caption, God will save me, which speaks about a terrible storm that came into a popular town. And the local officials sent out an emergency warning that the riverbanks would soon overflow and flood the nearby homes. They ordered everyone in the town to evacuate immediately. A faithful Christian man heard the warning and he decided to stay, saying to himself, I will trust God, and if I am in danger, then God will send a miracle, a divine miracle to save me. The neighbors went by his house and said to him, we are leaving and there's room for you in our car. Please come with us. But the man declined, saying, I have faith that God will save me. As the man stood on his porch watching the water rise up to his steps, another man in a canoe paddled by and called him, hurry and come into my canoe, man. The waters are rising quickly. But the man again said, no thanks, God will save me. The floods rose higher, pouring water into his living room. And this Christian man had to retreat to the second floor of his house. A police motorboat came by and saw him at the window. We will come and rescue you, shouted the police. But the man refused. He waved them off, saying, use your own time to save someone else. I have faith that God will save me. The floodwaters rose higher and higher, and this Christian man had to climb rather up to his rooftop. A helicopter spotted him and dropped a rope ladder. A rescue officer came down the ladder and pleaded with him, grab my hand and I will pull you up, said the officer. But the Christian man still refused, folding his arms tightly to his body. No thank you, he said, God will save me. Shortly after, the house broke up and the flood swept the man away, and he drowned. When he got to heaven, he stood before God and asked, God, I put all my faith in you. Why didn't you come and save me? And God said to him, son, I sent you a warning. I sent you a car. I sent you a canoe. I sent you a motorboat. I sent you a helicopter. What more were you looking for? And in that context, I asked the question, because there are lots of criticisms. What more can the T-Unity government do? Prime Minister Harris, in his address a few nights ago, stated his priorities. And we know his priorities from a long time in terms of ensuring that people are safe, their security, and their life.
We will have to live with COVID-19 for the foreseeable future, and the most effective way of doing this will be to get ourselves and your loved ones vaccinated. My priority as your Prime Minister and leader of your Team Unity government is to ensure the health, safety and security of every citizen and resident of this federation.
And to ensure the safety of life, to ensure the health and security of every citizen of the federation, measures had to be implemented. Measures were outlined by Prime Minister Harris, who is doing a wonderful job, and no one can dispute that. And there were 10 measures, I think, that were enunciated by the Prime Minister, beg your pardon, including these.
In order to contain the spread of the deadly virus, your cabinet has accepted the following recommendations from our health professionals. 1. A curfew will be imposed from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily, starting from tonight, and for 14 days in the first instance, to decrease the possibility of continued spread of the virus. The number of passengers and public transportation, that is buses and ferries, will be reduced to 50% of the established capacity. This is to facilitate physical distancing and a resultant reduction in the risk of transmission of the deadly virus. Thirdly, strict adherence to non-pharmaceutical measures, that is mask wearing, sanitizing, and physical and social distancing must be observed in the public and at places of business and worship. Remember, your personal responsibility in this fight is of utmost importance. Fourth, all contact sports are suspended for the next 2 weeks. 5, schools will remain closed for 2 weeks in the first instance to facilitate contact tracing, testing, and other necessary precautions.
And yes, my Street Dog family, there's absolutely no mass events allowed. They are cancelled. Funerals have to adhere to protocols. There's also effective May 29. Only vaccinated travelers will be allowed entry into St. Kitts and Nevis until further notice. And given the importance of vaccines in the protection of persons, the health centers are being open between the hours of 8 to 6 p.m. from Monday to Friday. So too, in Nevis between 8 to 4 p.m. and extended hours will be applied on Saturdays. And I'm happy to report, my Straight Dog family, that the vaccination rollout is going good. The vaccine rollout is going exceptionally good. But my Straight Dog family, I understand in the last 48 hours, there were some 957 doses administered, with 701 receiving their first dose. I understand they have now delivered up to yesterday, I think, some 24,000 doses into the arms of some people. A total of 17,736 persons, or 53% of the target population, now protected with their first dose, and a total of 6,561 persons, or 19% of the target population, is fully vaccinated. That may just have to be revised, because it is my advice as well that today, just today, Thursday, some 1,050 persons were vaccinated in Bastille, in Molyneux, in Kearn, in Tabernacle, in Newtown, in St. Paul's, Old Road, St. Peter's, and the Sadler's Health Clinics. There were 188 in Charlestown and Jindaland, the National Bank, and the Rush School of Veterinary, Rush University and School of Veterinary Medicine. And that rollout has gone very good. But our government has done everything to keep our people safe. What else can the government do? You have a choice. As a matter of fact, my Straight Dog family, you have two choices, I should say. Choice number one, get the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is available to us, and protect yourself and save your life. Choice number two is do not take the vaccine, do not use the tool available to us, and possibly, God forbid, lose your life. Which choice do you want to make tonight, my Straight Dog family? That's the question I want to ask you. I'm going to open the lines and entertain your calls and entertain your emails, because as I said in the beginning of my Straight Dog family, we are in critical times. The pandemic is spreading like a wildfire. Do not be afraid to administer and manage your own self, your own future, your own health. Empower yourself, my Straight Dog family. Empower yourselves and get the right information about the vaccine and make the right choice. The virus is back with us in the country. We have to be cautious.
In essence, the virus is back. In other words, it has been reintroduced into the Federation. And so it's important for each of us to do what is necessary to protect ourselves from this virus.
So, the choice is yours, my Straight Dog family.
Now, the following
Which
6
choice?
measures are ways in which you and I can protect ourselves from this virus and prevent the spread of this disease.
Yes, my Straight Dog family, it's in your hands. I'm going to open the lines and entertain your calls. Entertain your calls and your emails, my Straight Dog family. Yes, some of you are sending me information about statistics, but you'll understand we are in a fluid situation, and you are the ones must empower yourselves, as I said. Get the right information, my Straight Dog family. Get the right information, and if you have other information, let me know, my Straight Dog family. The information I have that's updated today in Basseterre, there are some 45 people who got the second dose. I suspect this is at the Irish Town Clinic. In Molyneux, some 21 people got their second dose. In Kearn, 2 people got their second dose. In Tabernacle, 13. In Newtown Health Center, 69 people got their second dose. In St. Paul's, 9 people got their second dose, and 12 in Old Road, 7 in St. Peter's, and 10 in Silas. So 188 persons got their second dose today at those health centers. In Charlestown, 65 got their second dose today. In Gingerland, 83, so 98 people got their second dose today. And those getting their first dose in Basseterre, 98, Malnews 30, and the list goes on and on. But let me entertain your calls. Let me entertain your emails. I'm going to open the lines, my Straight Talk family. It's 19 before the 9 o'clock hour. I must, before, nonetheless, implore you to respect others. And to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to our concern. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. We are in critical times, crucial times. You have two choices. What's your choice, caller? Your life. Good night.
Kinder, gentler St. Kitts
Hello, caller.
and Nevis. We are in critical times, crucial times. You have two choices.
Hello, caller.
What's your choice, caller? Your life.
Caller, you're listening to your radio. Listen to the telephone. It's 17 before the 9 o'clock hour. When you call, listen to your telephone. No need to listen to your radio. You'll get confused. Let's go back to the lines one more time.
Sorry
Caller,
for that again.
you're live.
Mr. Patches, good night. And to
Good
the
night,
rest
sir.
of the world who are listening. You have said it right, and you cannot find a better way to say it. And it all sum up that the warning was there a long time ago. And those who didn't heed the cause, this is what it has gotten to. To all those who have received their full vaccination, you are a hero. Give yourself a round of applause. I have done it, and I feel good about myself. I have led others to it, and I witness it have been done. Those who don't take it, you are endangering yourself and endangering your family, friends, those who you know and those who you don't know. Now, I am glad that the very few who has gotten their fully vaccination, they can go about, fly wherever they want to go. And those who don't, they're going to stay right in a corner and be condemned, and maybe even to the grave quicker than anticipate. So, it needs more pressure. Every village, every person in a village know someone. And if those who are already being vaccinated live in a village, it is your duty to make sure those who don't get their shot as yet, report them, force them, because they endanger your health and safety. This is not a situation that an individual can say, I have the right to reject or receive. You are obligated to, and this is not a personal matter. This is all of us matter. We are all in this together. Whether you don't want to be, we are. That's what I got to say. And I hope everyone will take the safety measure to go and get this thing done and over and defeat COVID. That's my blessings, and I hope it will fulfill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sound intervention. I like the moral persuasion though, as yes, we still have some rights, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. It's 14 before 9. Caller, you're live. Okay, we haven't a little bit coordinated those calls, but let's try this one again. Call you live. Hello, caller.
Okay.
49, call you live. Yes, take your radio off, caller. Hi there, caller. I want to call us to listen to telephone and not your equipment or your radio. Let's go back to the lines one more time.
Well, I did not.
Caller.
I was usually somebody else just come through, and I just wait till the person done, and then he ain't say call you because my computer was not coming through.
Okay,
I don't
but you're
even
live.
have
That's
off my
nice to hear.
computer on him.
Yes, my dear, you're live. What's on your mind? Hello? I'm listening, caller. Are you there? Okay, we seem to be having some difficulty with that line. It's 30 before 9. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller? Yes. Yes, caller?
Oh, I didn't hear you. Good night.
Yes, go ahead. You're live. Good night.
Good night. Something is
Good night,
acting
my
up
dear.
then I'm not hearing. Good night.
You go ahead. You're live. Okay, I seem to be having some difficulty here again. I'm hearing you. So, go right ahead when you get connected. Let's try this one again. Yes, caller, you are live. Okay, caller. Okay, it's now some
Go ahead.
11
Good night.
minutes. Yes, go ahead.
Good night, and how art thou? Hello.
I am peaceful. Yourself? Just
Am I
start
on?
talking. You're live. Yes, you are.
Am I on? I'm not hearing no one.
You go ahead. You go ahead. You're live. We're hearing you, so go ahead.
Okay, good night, Patches. I'm just calling to say that don't bother about with that announcer because the announcer promote the vaccination so much that from Monday, not even Monday, I can say from Sunday till now, don't you hear the amount of people that went out for the... I can't even believe my daughter, I had to encourage her to go. And she went out yesterday. So I am glad she got her first. She's telling me she has a headache, but I tell her I think it's faith. She ain't have enough faith. So, but I told her to use some aspirin or Tylenol. And she is home. I told her to call me tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow and see how she make it out. But she got her first jab today, yesterday. And I am, as I said, prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure. And even, I don't think this thing would have been so far if there was wearing the mask and doing the hand sanitizer and everything. I hope that all who is still around will be more precaution. And have a good night. I think your program is promoting, it's really promoting what to do. And I can say, from the first day that lady coughed in my back when I went to church, and I come home and I quarantined myself for 2 weeks. No one had to tell me. I came home, I take off my clothes, I spread them, and went in the shower, had a shower, and I quarantined for 2 weeks. My son couldn't even be, when he is out, I am in my bedroom. And when he's out of his bedroom, I am in my bedroom. And I quarantine. And thank Jehovah that it keeps me that way. And, you know, it's really faith and prayer. Faith and prayer we have to use these days. So have a good night and be blessed. Bye.
Have a good night as well, my dear. Faith and prayer. Yes, but remember what I said. Faith without works is dead. Let's go back to the lines.
Good night.
Caller, you're live. Good night. Yes, you're live.
Yeah, good night to the Honorable Patches Liburd. Good night.
How are you, Mr. Politics?
The anti-vacciners them out there showing the endeavor best to prevent people from not going to take the vaccine. Patches, up to tonight, just a while ago, I come from town on a bus. And a gentleman on the bus tell me, politics, you don't check you don't take the mark of the beast. I tell him from since a small come up my mother belly, I don't take the mark of the beast because when I was going to school I get vaccine. And all the medication them where we take when we go doctors is the medication the same factories them, the same medical people them, is them make the vaccine. So I don't take the mark of the beast long time and you don't take it too. So I do not see that the problem with all you taking the vaccine. If people can create things, okay, like the whole world. Brother, what you all doing get real? And just try to do what you all got to do to combat this COVID. You don't hear the world situation. You don't hear what happening in India. You don't hear what happening in China. You don't hear what happening in Brazil and all the other countries. You know, he said that man that this and that Bill Gates this and Bill Gates that. I said Bill Gates a God no? Bill Gates not dead like a menu. I saw the rest of the man talk about Celestia God and all kind of thing. Bill Gates no God, Bill Gates not dead like me and you and others. Brother, what Bill Gates you talk about? Brother, go out and do what I got to do. Patrick, I was down there Monday. I went to take my shot. And I see Rastas down there. I see Rastas there in the line to go and take the vaccine. And Patrick, let me tell you something. When I went and take my vaccine, I don't even have to sit down, but I sit down only 15 minutes, as they say, because you know I do that. But Patrick, as soon as I done rest for the 15 minutes, I went by some place to go look some tamarind, went tipped up in the t-shirt down some, and went to pick them up. Not a side effect, nothing. So people, I stop be ignorant and do the right thing. Patrick, if I cut back, I'll get back. And people, when you are calling, or you start to talk, because you are going to go your Patrick's band back to you. All right then.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Politics. I go straight back to the lines at 5 before 9 o'clock. Caller, you're live. Yes, caller, you're live. It's 5 before 9. We are looking at the old adage, a stitch in time saves 9. Yes, you're live, caller. Yes, caller, you're live.
All right, thank you. Mr. Patrick?
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
It is so wonderful to talk to you, Mr. Patrick.
Likewise, the Bible man.
God is a good God, Patrick.
Yes, God is all the time.
You're doing a wonderful job, Mr. Patrick.
Thank you.
And the Word of God said, verse 20, verse 23, the scripture said, the scripture was fulfilled. Said Abraham believed God, and it was believed unto him by righteousness, and he was called the sons of God. Now, Mr. Patrick, when you really believe God for anything, you just have to wait. God is going to come through with you. Hello, Mr. Patrick. I am not hearing you. Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you. You go ahead.
What is it?
You go ahead.
And so, it's so wonderful. My Bible says, "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for his good. His mercy endureth forever." He said, "Let the redeemer of the Lord say so, who you have redeemed from the hands of the enemy." I tell you already, and I tell you again, that when you talk the right thing, and when you do the right thing, you're going to get lamination enough. You're going to get a lot of blows. By the vex with you so much. By the letter went on bad. Because for the truth, and the truth shall set a man free. So continue, Mr. Patrick, to talk the truth, and it's going to set you free. When you don't do all kind of muck and say all kind of muck, when you come back, a lot of people don't really understand whatsoever man so he shall also reap. And let me say so. You buy Galatians chapter 6 verse 7. Deceive not, be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever man so he shall also reap. Well, Mr. Patrick, so see you, bye.
Have a good night, brother. I don't know what's happening with telephones, but I'm hearing you loud and clear. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Hello. Good evening,
yes, you're live.
You know, strong, eh? But what I want to know, first the electrical department, when you're going to Swat Street, just fix the parking lot, so put it, when they come to some dot, ask some cement in the hole, we're going to buy Swat Street in the road. Well, I want it to fix. I don't want boys' coat here fixed up by me, up for you. Because he wants first up good and he wants finish. Because he ain't finished yet. So number 3, please to come finish up here. And looking at the bus them with all these problems, it's saying that you're going to pay first when you before you reach in the bus. But looking at them now, the strictly say that you got to go half load, 7.5. But how they going to make money if 7.5? Because 14 people supposed to be on the bus. But looking at it, 6 big people, and the half is a child. So I don't know how they're going to make the money and how they're going to pay the bank. I'm looking at the bank to say that you're getting a loan When you really can't pay back the loan fast enough, the bank take all your assets and everything, and then you lose. So when they are encouraging people to go to the bank to look money, the bank is a problem. And looking at this sickness, everybody glad because the sickness here that they could do people as they like. Even the churches, when people go work nearby the churches them take back their work. And all the minister them and the government them, I look after Ari. And you have a blessed night and you take care. Now because me ain't get the barrel is safe. See you. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. My straight dog probably. That's my good Labour friend from them boys. Right? Morning, Peter. Cabbage man. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Yes, caller, you're live.
Evening, Patrick. What I want to tell you, you have a radio station that come on every day. And when they come on, it's only you and the Prime Minister and the government, I think it's the attacking. But you know what my grandmother told me? A lot of them could read and spell, but they can't pronounce at all. You understand me? They could read and spell, but they cannot pronounce. And when you see you can't pronounce, you are dumber than anybody. You understand me? You can't consider nobody dumb. You is the dumb one. Because you could read and spell and you can't pronounce and you don't know what's going on. You understand me? So don't bother with them. Just let it talk, and then anytime you got them, answer them. Because they ain't nothing. And Patrick, I told you when you come on, you have to wake up the people them in French. Because a lot of them born in St. Martin and all about the place, and they can't talk no French. And you a man could talk about 4 different languages. You understand me? And you're born right here in the island of St. Christopher and Nevis. Okay, so don't harm them. But Patrick, continue to do your good work. What you're doing, the Lord looking over you, He's looking over the Prime Minister, and He's looking over the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. And it's God put all you there. You understand me? God put you all there. You understand me? If I get back in, I get back in, because I have a topic I want to deal with tonight. Because I hear a man saying that the Prime Minister should go look for Sam. Okay? Look for Sam for what? Sam was there, up there where he is. He always get he bound. And then as he wait till election come, call, and then he retire and jump on the other friends where he said the man was drowning and couldn't swim, and he said they killed the man for the money when they were going for it. Okay? So don't bother with them. And the man who harboring them on the radio station, his time gonna come. His time gonna come. You know, it's only a matter of time for them. You understand me? Okay. Good night, sir. God bless you.
Good night. That's the people's king. People's king.
Good night.
Imagine a trained medical doctor reads this email.
Hello.
On a propagandist radio station, had the gall to say that he has taken the vaccine and it is good, but he will not tell anyone to take it. It's a choice they have to make for themselves. Lord help us with these highly educated fools, reads that email. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Yes, caller? It's 9:05.
Hello, good night.
Yes, you're live.
Liburd?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Just go ahead. I'm hearing you. We have some difficulties in the line. But go ahead.
Mr. Liburd, good night. I wasn't going to call you
Good night, dear.
because you've been a minister, always a minister.
And anybody saying anything, I think you're supposed to look into it. We're not supposed to be talking one thing all the time. And then when people call in, when you're ready, you can say, go ahead, callers, not listeners. So look out for the callers, not listeners. And tell the lady she sounds too foolish. Now let nobody tell her nothing about 6 years government. They had 20 years. See you.
That sounds like Alice in Wonderland. But my Straight Talk family, if you've just joined us, we're asking the question about your choices. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Good night, Patches.
Yes, jam down.
How are you?
I am peaceful.
Patches, I'm
Yes, sir.
hearing some sad news down in the Sandy Point area. The mothers of these children who supposed to be quarantined at home. I understand the round and round in the area in Sandy Point, and that is wrong. And people must support the community because it look like a lot of them want dead. It look like they want this thing to take over Sandy Point. If the elders them, you don't mash up more, you know. Please, parents, keep all your children in the house. The people could have put her in a government quarantine, you know, make it a little more difficult for her, you know. And I run by the propaganda station and try stupidness to them, you know. Oh, I ain't got this and oh, I ain't got that, you know. I please, for heaven's sake, make sure the children them stay in the home. Don't got the children around the community. It's a bigger spread are you looking for? Because this is very terrible. And we're not going to entertain that, you know, because asking the officials them, you know, and the police them in Sandy Point, you know, to check these people. And if they're doing these things, put them in the government quarantine, let them pay, since it's not the one. It's bad. And people play like they don't care. Such as, I want to ask the tourism to please go down there to the uranium down there in Sandy Point, in Old Road, and get this thing clean. We want this thing clean. And I asking the park and beach, you know, that tourism is not supposed to telling them to go and clean this heritage site. That's the job. The supervisors, they must do that. That's supposed to be on the calendar all your money when they go on that job. To make sure that these things clean. I really don't know what's going on, you know. And if it's say, you know, Beam and Yaakov and Shea tell you, you know, Patrick, and who could play Yaakov? Who could play short pitch? The better play good, otherwise they're going to get hit. Patrick, have a good night. I will be back.
Have a good night, my dear brother. We go straight back to the lines. Your live caller. Yes, caller. You have to forgive me. I'm having some connectivity problems, but caller,
greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Queen and Sing. God blessed evening, my beloved African brother. How are you, the family? Been a little while, man.
Peaceful, my brother. You and yours?
Brother Patches.
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Brother Patches.
Abu?
Yes, man, I just see you, brother. First, let me just say hail up to, you know what I mean, some brothers and sisters. Brother Culture, Mr. Politics, Queen Mother, Henry, all the sisters over there in Constituency 6. And the brothers, especially my beloved brothers and sisters over there in the Pan-African Republic of Ethiopia. And before getting into what I got to say, brother, first let me congratulate my youngest daughter, Aishama Phipps, who graduated today from Lehman College with a Bachelor's of Science in the health administration, honors, beloved. Honors. Yes, man. Our young people, beloved brother. Our young people, man. We always got to keep them front and center. And our elders too. Now, brothers, brother Patrick, let me get you what's going on now. Brothers, let me appeal to our sisters and brothers in the Federation, St. Kitts Nevis. Brothers and sisters, you got to help the administration to get this thing under control again. They're trying their uttermost best, but they need your help, sisters and brothers. And I'm appealing mostly to our young people, young sisters and brothers, because those are the ones who have the most energy, and those are the ones who move from place to place and places to places. So young brothers and sisters, I know you all want to have all your fun. They're going to come, man. They're going to come again. They're going to come again, young sisters and brothers. But we must do the right thing, man. I adhere to protocols, wear your mask, stay your distance, keep away from crowds and everything. And you know what I mean? You know why I start with, with the vaccine. I mean, who want to take it, take it. And who don't want to take it, don't take it. But that's with them, and it comes with consequences. I'm still on the fence, but I'm waiting for the one from Cuba to come home, man. To come home to take that out of Cuba. But until then, beloved, I will just, stay here and see what's going on. And, brothers, who does want to take it, take it. So again, my young sisters and brothers, man, especially, do the right thing, man. Do the right thing. I don't want to see my land of my birth honored when people start dying. We ain't have no death so far. Let me keep it that way, man. But we got to keep this thing down. How we been months ago. Must return to that, man. And beyond that, fun gonna come. Again, more than ever. It's only a matter of time. And then the employment gonna come again. Not just tourism. We got to create other things, So we got to do the right thing, man, and let the money start to flow. Like the River Nile again, beloved sisters and brothers. Brother Patches, continue to do the great works, beloved brother, and I will continue to listen. Have a weekend, you and the entire Federation, and you up here. But, even without the Federation, the Federation always enough. The patriotic one. So my beloved brother, Pan-Africanism will perish. One love, my beloved brother.
Yes, one love, my brother.
Yeah, Patches, good night again. Patches, today I was listening frank and candid. I didn't get a chance to get in. And I listened to the plea of the bus drivers, them, the bus owners, them and so. And they was talking about concession and all those things. And I believe a lot of people does negative against the bus drivers, them and the bus owners, them in the country, but not me. Because Patches, I don't have a license. And everyone can get a vehicle. And I support the bus man them a lot in this federation. Because Patches, without them, that we will reach to go work. And I want the government to do what they can do to help these men with these buses, especially the bus owners them. Because it is very hard on this COVID time. They're carrying less passengers now. And first when it started, it was happening, they was only carrying 7. And Patches, the government and the company them like TDC and Hasford them got to work with these people, the taxi drivers them too. Because it ain't their fault. Everybody know the situation. And sometimes you got to meet the bank with maybe $2,000 a month. They got to insure and they got to license them and everything. They got to spend money buy gas. They got to buy tires. They got to buy parts for them Patches. So I believe the government is looking seriously to these bus drivers because they're very, very dedicated to our service in this country, has taken us a morning time to a job. at night time when you don't work. So I just want the government can do and the companies them do what they can do to help these bus drivers, these bus owners, because it's very hard for them now. But again, you have a wonderful night. May God bless you and keep you.
Yes, may God bless you as well. My dear brother. Yes,
I would like to challenge this gentleman that spoke before. His name is Nabu. Nabu, I'm going to challenge you. Nabu should be a person, since he has the platform so many times, to set an example to take the vaccine. There is a saying, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. Why Nabu waiting for Cuban vaccine? Cuban vaccine will never come. Okay? So if you are waiting and encouraging people to go and take the vaccine and play it safe, what is the safest part about this whole thing? The vaccine. The temporary situation of wearing the mask, hand sanitize, carry you partially safe so far. But what will be the actual hammer and the nail head? Encourage people to take the vaccine, but you set an example. Stop say you waiting for Cuban vaccine. Shut up, man. I'm criticizing and I'm challenging you. So if you're ready for a fight, I'm willing to fight you on this ground, because that's like hypocrisy. I'm criticizing you, Dabu. I don't hate you, but I criticize you because you always come in there and say you're waiting for Cuba vaccine, and Cuba like it's something, a joke. This is serious, man. You go take the vaccine. I summons you to take the vaccine. I challenge you to take the vaccine. Or else shut up, man. Because you're not setting no example. You're encouraging people to go take the vaccine and play it safe. And you yourself now play it safe. Okay? I'm disappointed in you, Nabu. Freedom of speech, yes, but you didn't do it right. And I'm fed up. All right. Challenge to you, Nabu. Thank you.
Got you, my brother. I can understand one cannot really understand the procrastination. But let's go back to the lines. I'll call you live.
Good night. I would like to say that people in St. Kitts and over the world is not getting the right information about a vaccine. A vaccine is supposed to take about 5 to 7 years to pass federal inspection. This thing what you call vaccine is not a vaccine, it's a new technology they're trying to push into people, and it is only for a trial, for who want it. Nobody try to vex if nobody want, if anybody want to take it. Nobody try to make people guilty. That's all I have to say.
Heard you loud and clear, my brother. But I'm sure all the scientists around the world would disagree with you. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Let me say to the brother who call after me, my brother, I don't tell anyone don't take it, and I don't tell anyone not to take it, beloved. I didn't tell anyone not to, and I didn't tell anyone to take it. It's on that individual. You want to take it? That's you. You don't want to take it? That's you. When it comes to Brother Nabu, for now, the only vaccine I trust is the one out of Cuba. And like the brother said just before me, what they are giving, right, is not a vaccine. It's not approved as a vaccine. We all know that, but I'm going to waste time on that. You know? So my beloved brother, you want to take it? That's your right. Others don't want to take it? That's their right. I, Brother Nabu, for now I am not take. Definitely I will never take Johnson & Johnson. If it come down that it's mandatory that you got to take vaccine to travel, it will just left up to me whether I want to take Moderna or Pfizer. if I want to remain here until I make my transition, when it comes to that, I will decide. But the vaccine out of Cuba that I trust, because Cuba being, the administration in Cuba being great to African people for decades, apartheid, medicine, health, everything. They've been great to African people. And that's the only vaccine I trust, and that's the only vaccine I will take. If it comes to the St. Kitts Nevis, I will be the first one coming down to take it if there's no restriction. So my brother, it's not no hypocrisy. This is me. I ain't tell nobody don't take it. I take it. It's up to them. But I ain't taking none of them injectables. No. Only vaccine I will take is the vaccine out of Cuba. And I know it's going to be in St. Kitts Nevis and other parts of the Caribbean very, very soon. And I hope no restrictions to travel when that Cuban vaccine hit the Caribbean, other Caribbean countries. So my brother, there is no hypocrisy or anything like that, my beloved brother. So brother, you have a great evening, and you can debate me anytime, any place. We just need to get the vehicle and the okay. So again, Pan-Africanism our perish. One love, my beloved sisters and brothers.
One love, my brother. It's 22 past 9 o'clock. Always said that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Patrice, good night.
Let's go back to the lines. Call you that. Good night.
Good night,
sir.
Patrice.
Night.
This is Sugar.
Night. Yes, Sugar.
Yeah. This vaccine, I want to ask you a question. You ever hear the Prime Minister say yet that he's going to get a Cuban vaccine? You ever hear him mention that yet? I never hear him mention about a Cuban vaccine. And he up there, he wait to the Cuban vaccine to come. How we can come in without he fully vaccinated? You can't come sink it. That's how we fooling people. Are diplomatic, you know. But if a vaccine will take 5 years to whatever, who going there in the next 5 years to take it? Everybody gone done demolish. And this thing, you call you every minute, my dear beloved brother, my dear beloved. Mila don't stop him, you know. Because I don't want a man to love me up so much. You don't want a man to love me up. Every minute, my beloved, my beloved. Mila don't stop him. You don't want a man to love me up. Not me. See you, Patrice.
Okay, my brother. Okay, so
Good
take
night,
that to
Mr.
literal,
Liburd.
you know. But yes, I want to say
Good night,
that
Mr. Liburd.
the CMO, Dr. Laws, spoke to the Cuban vaccine. But let's take this call before I get to that. Caller, you're live.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Yeah. Good
I
night,
am
my dear.
calling because of what Mr. Politics said. Mr. Politics said that he thinks that the government should help out the taximan and the busman then because they're catching hell or they have it hard. Like how they said, take down they cannot carry the whole capacity of the bus load. We, the small business them in town too, I'm speaking for me and the others. I don't know, some of them maybe don't want to call in, but a lot of small businesses in town is not doing well because of the pandemic. And I think if the government gonna help the taxi and the busman them, they need to help us too because it's hard on us. Even people down the terminal who have bags, not making money, me and other people in town who have stores, things is very slow for us, and I think the government should help us too. That's all I have to call to say tonight.
Thank you, my dear. That's what Straight Talk is all about. We exchange our views.
Good evening.
But the government can do so much. But let's go back to the lines. We'll talk about that some other time. Caller, you live. Yes, caller.
So, Liburd, this is Rosie. I'm calling from Miami. I'm listening to people talking about the vaccine, right? And my take on that, I am a CNA, certified nursing assistant. So I took mine because I am protecting me. But what I'm saying, everybody, I don't understand. After I spoke to people in St. Kitts, who told me the same thing they are waiting on the Cuban vaccination. But I'm saying there was no COVID, vaccine being made in Cuba from 2010 on nothing. So I think all the vaccination are just coming out. And I think you should take the vaccine because you see what is happening. And I think that everybody should take the vaccine because it doesn't make any point getting sick. I mean, you can still get it because if you are vaccinated, it doesn't say you won't get it. What they're saying will not hit you as hard as it will hit you if you didn't take the vaccination. And I really think that people are playing with life in not taking the vaccination. What is there to lose? As the gentleman was saying, we wait for 5 years. Who knows if we'll have this time waiting to take the vaccine? I think as being in this kind of fight against this vicious thing, we all should take the vaccine. I am appealing to English people to please, this is what's happening in New York, and we have that amount of people in St. Kitts who died. So we can't afford, because as soon as one died, we're going to be seeing it all over, and I think that people look into it really and try and get the vaccine. And your life. And think about the older people. You have your grandmother at home who have underlying sicknesses. We should really go ahead and take the vaccine. I mean, you all only could do what you all can do. It's not about government. It's not about politics. It's about us. We are looking after us. Again, thank you, Patrick, and you are doing a wonderful job. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Rosie. And you stay safe. And you said it so correctly. You have to empower yourself. You have to manage your own health. But the vaccine is available, and you ought to take it. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
This is my third time calling, and I am going to be hot on that man Nabu trail because he is branded.
Why are we
resistant against the vaccine? I am going to get at you personally, okay? I understand that you're encouraging people to take it, to be safe, do what's necessary to be safe. But ask yourself the question, what is the safest way out that everyone was waiting for?
Are they caller?
Anyway, all I'm simply saying to Nabu, he should be more on the example side and not on the encouraged side. Because on the encouraged side, that means you already have taken it. So you cannot not and for. You got to be for all the way. Listen to yourself. Okay? It's freedom of speech. You're not deprived of saying what you have to say. But listen to what you said, Brother Nabo. I'm working on your case. And maybe all who try to convince you that your point is personal, this is a global situation. So you as an individual, you got to encourage people, like you said you do, but you yourself have to be an example. So you're holding a sharp blade and a dull blade. What it is, Brother Nabu, I'm working on your case. I'm campaigning to you that you should set an example. Once again, A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush, because you have vaccine in front of you and you're waiting for Cuba vaccine. Let me tell you something. Cuban vaccine will never come. So wait long. The other person who mentioned this vaccine is not a vaccine. A vaccine should take at least 5 years or 7 years. A vaccine, look, in the days of technology, there is no time for long coming, short coming. Technology has increased, so this is modern time. You could have things you used to take 5 years to produce, you produce it in 2-3 months, even probably just record time. So stop promote those kind of negativity. Take what you can take right now and make use of it. And if there is something better come tomorrow, so it be so. Come on, man. Say some word of encouragement, not negativity. Thanks.
I'm a little bit hamstrung, my Stray Dog family, in that the callers are not hearing me. So I can't even intervene at times. But let's keep the private discussion from this a public forum, though. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, me again.
Yeah.
As I said, people in Sinkis need the right information. When you're going to take something inside your arm, you got to know what you're taking it for, what caused it, what caused the virus, and what you got to know everything good about it. I mean, you got to get the right information. As I tell again, people not getting the right information. All they hearing, and they wouldn't even read, no, nothing. They're just taking word from people that vaccination good and that kind of thing. This is not a vaccination. This is something they're trying. Whoever want to take it is them. I stop forcing people to take what they know about. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Again, caller, if you can pass
hello, good night.
thoughts, you know. And the World Health Organization has spoken to the vaccine, and in particular the AstraZeneca vaccine. So let's be real. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Okay, yeah, good night, Patches. Yeah, you know, listen, everybody has their own opinion, it's 2 years, but sometimes, you know, some of these people, they sounding so done about vaccine. They don't know, they have the scientists, they don't wait until a virus come up to start doing things, you know. What people need to maybe the task force and other people need to, and the doctors need to tell these people that scientists been thinking vaccine all the time. They run trials and vaccines all the time. They ain't just wait until the thing to go in a lab to do nothing. They're in the lab testing and doing things all the time. So when something come up now, they just add whatever ingredients or the things it takes or you need to work and whatever situation to what they've been trying and testing all the time. So these people sounding so done and thinking about, oh, your vaccine supposed to take 10 years. What 10 years? This is modern time. This is modern time. What 10 years? Anything that take 10 years? A chicken thing today, you born today, by weekend you're ready to eat. Once ago you used to got to maybe wait a whole year to eat a fowl to come to maturity to eat it. Now in a week time you eating chicken we born today, in a week time you eating it. So people need to sound more modern and get more thing than this nonsense they keep talking. And the company that making this same vaccine, they might be the same one who been making the medication for years that we've been taking, going to doctor and doctor prescribing for us, and we've been taking it, and nobody never asked the doctor, well, who make the medication you're telling me to take, and what ingredient is in the medication that you're telling me to take. So and now we see something in front of our eye, killing people, thousands or millions of people being dying, falling out dead every day. And they talk about vaccine come too quick and them kind of thing. You know, glad did vaccine come quick to save your life? No Patches.
Good night as well. That's Well spoken there. I don't know if I want to eat the chicken after a week, though, my good friend. But it's 24 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. Yes, I've been having some difficulties with the telephone lines, so I I can't even get into really arbitrate the discussion, so, because you're not hearing me, but I'm hearing you. But let's go back to the lines again. Caller, I do apologize for that. So sometimes I just have to listen, and it's unfortunate. Caller, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, caller, you're live. Let's go ahead, caller. You're not hearing me, but I'm hearing you.
Yeah, Mr. Liburd, I would like to know if Sankis to make their own money. Every minute they're coming on, the government must take this, the government must help this, the government must help that. Does Sankis make the money? Where the government get all this money from? Huh? Every minute the government must help this, government must help the bus drivers, government must help the small people. I would like to know that if they don't make their own money, how much the Prime Minister could do? Man, give us a break, man. Too much handle. We had to fight. And this virus, what they don't understand. You see how easy it spread like wildfire, and it affects everybody. It affects everybody. The bus drivers, them are from everybody affecting, because the bus drivers, they can't carry a full load no more. Other business gone down. So this is what they don't understand. They've been talking to them all the time. But it seems like my grandmother used to say, who can hear by the cracking of the whip, hear by the tolling of the bell. And the tolling of the bell is when they're in the church and the church bell is ringing. And the next thing they said, they can't hear by this curvet. Well, curvet will cut and Springfield will grind. That's all I have to say for now.
Thank you, my dear. And the fact is, we have two choices. That's a fact of life. And the hypocritical thing, though, to me, is when a doctor would say something like this. Doctor would say something like this.
Vaccination is the administration of the vaccine. Immunization means that your antibody levels have topped up. That takes place about 2 weeks later.
The doctor said
we have a safe and effective vaccine, the AstraZeneca vaccine. We have 15% fully.
Yes, safe and effective vaccine. AstraZeneca is safe. But why don't they encourage people to take it? You've taken your 2 doses. Why should they procrastinate? Caller, you're live.
Good night again. Me again, just to make my last contribution, I forgot to say this when I was talking. Again with the vaccine. People talking about it takes so much years to make a vaccine. We could recall that just a couple years ago, it used to take 10 and 5 people to move a TV, and now one person could take a TV in a room without any problem. It is said everything else, as technology increase, people do things at a better time. We trust the pressure pot, we trust the telephone, we trust the microwave, and now everybody's afraid for the air fryer. These are things. Imagine you're frying something and you don't have to use any oil. And people are rushing for these things. But the vaccine, which we are accustomed to, all of us have been vaccinated at some point. Right now, when I go up here and I got to do a TB test because I'm a health worker, I have to tell them beforehand I was vaccinated in the Caribbean. So they have to give me a chest x-ray, because if I do a TB test any other how, it always comes up positive. And because of the vaccination and the mark that I have in my hand. And we all have to take vaccination at some time. Even the kids getting injections. They put up some kind of reason. We have to give them Tylenol. We have to give them something. So I don't understand the big crave and the big song and dance everybody saying, oh, men taking a vaccination. Men taking a vaccination. We all were vaccinated at some point, and we are alive and well. So I don't know. I don't think that the government should be running up and down and running behind people. I mean, they have to protect their people. It's just a pity that we can't take all the people who don't want to be vaccinated and put them in the air by themselves, where they wouldn't be among the rest who are trying to do everything to stay alive. And partly this is my last word for the night, but I'm just again saying that knowledge increase. God gives people knowledge, and it does not take as long as once ago you couldn't get a child unless you had sex and all that, and now this could happen just naturally because knowledge has increased and people have to look at all these things. Vaccination are not going to take 10 and 15 years ago. I mean, let's get real and let's talk about the real facts and not use this thing as an excuse. A lot of us are being ridiculous. And again, good night, Patrick.
Good night, my dear. That's what Straight Talk is about. Yes, let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. I'm having some
You're honorable. You're honorable.
Yes, caller, you're live.
You're honorable. I've been listening to this thing time and time and over. And it is as simple as this. Simple. There are too much philosophical ideas on the matter. And I want to be just practical. Look at United States. By now, United States would have had over 1 million deaths. And from the time the vaccine came in, it cut in half. Be practical. That is to say, something is working. Something is working. What is the problem? By now, let me repeat, by now, United States would have had over 1 million deaths for the pace that it was going. And the fact that that amount is now cut in half, supposedly cut in half, means that something is working. And I hope that people should understand this. Something definitely is working. The vaccine is working. I will continue to say it. And that is what I have to say. For now, I might come back.
That's well said, my dear brother. Matter of fact, cities are opening up. They are even removing the mask mandates and so on. The vaccines, as you said, they are working. People in St. Kitts, let's get on board. Caller, you're live.
Patches, yeah, Patches here. Patches again, me again. Patches, nobody putting no pressure on the government for no do nothing, for no bus drivers or nothing. What I say that the government could help them, how they could help them, whether by duty or whatsoever. Because these men are dedicated man every day, and without them, nobody could go walk. And who going in the far distant area and so Patches. So nobody putting no pressure on the government. I say in government could help them, how they could help them. And these people we got to respect. Patches, sometimes I don't know work all after 11 going to 12. I up there can't get no bus. You understand? I have my own car, I have a license. And everybody have their own vehicle and everybody have a license. So I just said this to say that government and the business places them, like Hartford and Tiddis and all those parts and so, could get a little ease with them. Me and government alone.
I've heard you, Mr. Politics.
And Patches, let me tell you, right? Okay. We cannot, listen now, we got to forget, tell Brother Rap, we got to forget about the ignorance. That's why you see me that I don't listen to certain radio station now. I listen to something positive, that when me come on in my life and see the country go well, because when I listen to certain things, Patches, sometimes when people send things on my phone, I just delete them one time, because I don't want nobody send me nothing to make me panic. I got migraine headache, I just suffer with a little pressure. I do not want nobody send up my pressure to make me feel uncomfortable. I just trying to do what I got to do, and people do what they got to do to combat this COVID. This COVID ain't going anywhere now. We are so the situation be. Ignorant ain't excuse to Allah. And you don't believe in vaccine or whatsoever. That is your right to not believe in a vaccine, but I got a company, I got a business, I got a hotel. Nobody could come in my hotel unless they did vaccine. They got to out a job. You understand? And all business players should do it. And let me see what people gonna do. All the business players should do it. Nobody come on my job without they're fully vaccinated. Patrice, you have a wonderful night again. God bless again.
God bless you as well, my
Hi,
brother.
good evening.
We go back. Yeah, good evening.
Hello?
Just go ahead. Go ahead, call.
Okay, hi, good evening. A caller just called and he said, right? You could hear me?
Just go ahead, caller.
Hello?
You're live, yes. Just go ahead.
Caller just calling
Go ahead,
and he
caller.
said that once ago, vaccines took years to make, and because of technology, that things that take years to make could be done in 2 to 3 months. That was his rhetoric. And I am saying this, despite that what he's saying where technology is concerned may be true, I am going to not stand with him on what he said. I think that he's totally wrong, because one thing that he is forgetting is the time it took for these vaccines to be licensed and approved by FDA. These vaccines are only licensed and approved after significant trials on humans or animals, or whichever they used to test on. And for it to show the safety and efficacy, it had to take some time. Now, these vaccines are just rolled out a few months ago. And you want to tell me between 2 to 3 months, you could tell how much people in the world that these vaccines would work accordingly? Look how much time people, these vaccine makers, changing their minds on how the vaccine is to work and about the efficacy of the vaccine. Oh yeah, it can minimize the spread of it. You can get low symptoms. Yeah, there's a low chance of you catching the virus, but the word low indicates that you can still catch the virus. And if you can spread it and catch it still, what is the sense? So that lady that called in and said, encouraging people and saying how, oh, those who don't want to take the vaccine, you should just put them in a place by themselves. Tell her she out of order. She out of order. They are the one who inject a virus in them, and we, the clean, healthy people, you want to do that. Well, somebody should lock you up for saying that. That's it. This is your good friend, but I'll let you know who everyone already. You have a good evening.
Are you still there? Go ahead, caller. Okay, seem to have lost a caller. But it's 11 before the the 10 o'clock hour. We having some difficulties with telephone lines. It's making it a bit. It has been a little bit hamstrung, to tell you the truth. So we can't have that smooth flow, that conversation we normally have. But we'll make up for that. Let's go back to the lines. Call your live.
Yeah, like me again. The medication, right? Let me just turn the radio down. Hello? Yeah. The medication that the doctors prescribe to the patients when they're sick. How long, when we ever ask the doctor how long these medications take before they were made, and how long did the FDA and those other people take before they could approve them? We don't do that. We just go and we buy wherever prescription the doctor give us, prescribe to us. We just go to the pharmacy and we get it and we use it. We never ask the pharmacist or even the doctor what the ingredients that is in these medications. We never do that. We go because we want to get better, so we run down, we buy them. And every medication that is made has some kind of side effect to it, even vitamins. So when you hear people who you know, were saying this, we are so sensible and we are more educated now. You know, how come you're talking so? How come you're speaking the way you're speaking? If we are so educated now and we are more sensible now. So the doctors or the scientists, they are not educated too. They're not more sensible now too. You know, when you hear people say these things, you just have to wonder. Because if you get the same people who are saying now that they're not taking a vaccine, which that is their right, you know. But if they feel sick tomorrow, they run to a doctor to get some kind of medication that is made by the same people who make these vaccines. And they're gonna go and then take it and then ask them, why you put in the medication that you're prescribing to me? Then I'm gonna ask her. You go out again, such it.
Yes, my brother, heard you loud and clear. I do have some information about the vaccination. I'm just trying to get it played. It's an MSNBC documentary about vaccinating America. It's about the black research doctor who actually was working on the coronavirus vaccines for years and who explained how she was confident about her team and her vaccinations. And she said this.
You got the Moderna vaccine. You have our next guest to thank. Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett and her team at the National Institutes of Health spent years working on a vaccine for coronaviruses before COVID-19 hit. So Kizzy Corbett was ready when the sequencing of COVID-19 was revealed on a Friday in January of last year.
When we got those sequences, because we knew how to make that protein as a very good vaccine, we did that really quickly over the weekend, and by the 13th, over the weekend. You know something about working on weekends, right?
And joining us now is Dr. Kizzy Corbett. She is the scientific lead for the coronavirus vaccine team at the National Institutes of Health. We want to let our audience know that as we approach the 11 o'clock hour, that the 11th hour with Brian Williams will be coming up shortly. We're just going to trespass on his time a bit to hear from Dr. Kizzy Corbett. And Dr. Corbett, the very strangest thing in what I heard you just say was over the weekend. Over the weekend. I can't think of a single important thing I did over a weekend except maybe study for exams in high school and college. The sequencing of the vaccine gets determined in January. You go to work, a sequence of the virus gets determined in January, on a Friday afternoon, I think. And you just start working through the weekend. By the end of the weekend, you have your idea for what's going to work as a vaccine?
Absolutely. You know why that is?
No, I don't. No one knows why that is.
It's because we went into that weekend very prepared. We'd worked on coronavirus vaccines for the previous 6 years, and we knew exactly what to do. And we were actually waiting patiently for those sequences because we were so ready to start to make a vaccine in case that the virus did become a pandemic like we're seeing now.
And that's because you knew this kind of pandemic was both likely and on the way at some point. You just don't know when. It's kind of like an earthquake.
Yeah.
So in fact, that black doctor was working on the vaccines for years. Let's go back to the line. Let's call her. I hope
Patrice, good night.
You got the quality of that.
All these vaccines, no vaccine better than none. All of them experiment their choice. No vaccine better than none. And whoever want to take the vaccine, it's them choice. All what you do, the bearing grow up there almost full out. So I get an extra piece of land ready for in case of the corona demolish a load of people. Or you will have room. And them houses there, a baker's corner, don't let nobody encourage you to get them out. because the hospital up there is small. And in case of something heavy turn out, or you go one room, or you could use them to quarantine people in. And Patrick, you have a pleasant good night. This is Sugar out of West Farm.
Yes, Sugar, always to the point. But the calls are coming, so I'll go straight back to the lines. Call you live. Yes, caller?
Your Honor, I'm back again. I don't want to be too much repetitious, but I have to be practical. I want to be practical. And I have to use the United States as an example. A lot of us know that it was hectic for the United States coming up last year and ended up with over 500,000 deaths. And the simple point I'm making, that if a vaccine did not come into play, the United States would have had rough over 1 million by now. And it is simple arithmetic. I can't see why people cannot understand that. Simple arithmetic. And the fact that they introduced the vaccine came, one can easily see that something definitely is working. It is working. And I would like people to understand that and go and take the vaccine and to reduce the risk. And that is what all I have to say for now. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much. I think I overlooked the emails and...
Hello?
Go ahead, caller. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Mr. Liburd, I call again. Who do I want to take a vaccine? Is a matter to them. If only Form 1, that's good. Because we must know who in government, no one, the Prime Minister, we must know to take it. Otherwise, we never got no work. Let them march or abuse him. That's all they're going to do.
Thank you for your call. We go straight back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
It's a pleasant Thursday evening to each and everyone in the Federation. I'd like to say something here. In fact, let me get something off my chest first before I say anything. To the gentleman who keep calling, my brother, my loving brother, my this brother, I'd like to say something to you clearly because I know you're still listening to this program. If you have nothing constructive and positive to say, when you get these programs on the air, sit next to your chair, fill a bucket of water, use a cup and fill your mouth with it. And every time you swallow, keep filling your mouth. Because every time you come on the radio, you talk nothing but ignorance and nothing of common sense. Now, it's surprising to me that you're saying you're waiting for a vaccine from Cuba. I was looking for you, my brother, man, to say that you're waiting for a vaccine from Africa. Because you're always talking about Africanism and Africa this. So it's quite shocking to hear you say that you're waiting for a vaccine from Cuba. You come on the air every time you come on the air. And you keep trying to tell the government, I think that you could tell the government how to run SyncIt, what to do with SyncIt, and what all to implement into SyncIt. How much have you contributed to SyncIt over the year? Your statute of limitations have run out. Your statute of limitations have run out. And I repeat that. When the government invested money in getting this vaccine here because they know the consequences and they knew what was happening with the coronavirus, a lot of you get up and jump up and bang your mouth, oh, where you get money to do, oh, you get money to do this, and oh, you get money to do that, and all kind of confusion with money. The vaccine is there. You waiting on a vaccine from Cuba? Really? Did you invent a vaccine for Cuba? Did you invest money in Cuba to get a vaccine out of Cuba? Then my thing to you would be, don't come home to SyncIt. You don't need to come to the Federation. Go to Cuba and get your vaccination. Or order your vaccination from Cuba and vaccinate yourself where you be. Stop talking foolishness. Stop. You people just keep coming up with more and more stupid ideas to convince people not to get the vaccine. Let me bring all your attention to something.
Before Barack Obama leave office, they were already investing and getting involved in not vaccine rollout, but testing a vaccine. They were already creating vaccines. That is why when Barack Obama left the United States presidency, he said that those things was already in place. But the gentleman who came in after did not follow up on it. And that is why when the COVID-19, because Barack said it, he said that there is something that is going to hit. And if you all follow history, the thing about it, you get on the ear and you talk a whole lot of stuff, but you don't follow history. You do not follow history. If you follow history and you look at the years when things happen and when certain things come into play, you had the yellow fever, you had the this, you had the that. When the years roll over, when the centuries are changed, this is the 21st century. Everybody thought that something was going to happen at the beginning of the century. It doesn't work that way. Every century comes along with something. How many of you have realized something for the year 2020 and 2021? Where is the flu season? St. Kitts goes through a flu season December and January. Where is the flu season? You have not seen anybody. You've seen any children with snotty nose? You see anybody went up and down because the children sick with the cold and they got to go here and they got to go there? You people need to pay attention. Pay attention to the way the world, the universe works. Pay attention and know that this is not the end. Pay attention to know that if we live to see another century or close to that, there is something else going to come. How many times have there been swine? Every year we have swine flu, chikungunya, and the list goes on. All those things come up because as time changes, as the climate changes, as the ozone layer gets more and more impact, and we have more hurricanes, and we have more Sahara dust, and we have more earthquakes, and we have more volcanic, all these things blend together and changes the sense of direction in every man's land and every human life. Some of us had sinus last year that is worse this year and the year before. Some of us blood pressure goes up, some of us blood pressure comes down. The simple fact is, the government did the right thing in moving forward. The simple fact is, the government took a group of people and put them together to create the COVID-19 task force. And these people are doing a tremendous job for the past year and months. None of you congratulating them on that. The simple fact is, the government made sure they invested in money, invested in a vaccine, that the people of St. Kitts would not have to stand in line like other countries are standing in line and have to bawl. The Prime Minister and his staff and his cabinet made sure that he secured a way for the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. But you all believe that you're stubborn with ignorance, drunk with stupid power, that you keep coming up with a whole lot of, oh, this ain't that, and that ain't that. Somebody made a comment last night, and they said, stop forcing you all to take the vaccine. When you take the vaccine is when you're going to be number 60, 76, or 70-something. You know what it means? Every individual who gets the COVID, they no longer go by name. They go by name in the register, yes. But when the public knows about it, you are now a statistic, you are now a number. You don't want to take the vaccine, it's fine. The vaccine don't cure. There's no vaccine on the face of the earth that has ever cured anything. But it protects you and it prevents you from getting seriously ill. And if you do recover from your illness, that you have side effects after that. And if you don't recover from your illness, you go 6 feet under. This is no time to be ignorant. This is no time to not activate your common sense. People, if you don't want to take the vaccine, please keep off the radio station and stop trying to encourage others not to do the right thing. Let people feel free. Let people feel settled to go out and do the right thing for them. Those of you who do not want to do the right thing, then don't do it. We have enough gong and burying gong in St. Kitts. We'll just make mass graves and somebody gonna say, oh, she had no call to say that. But then don't do it. Do what you want.
But we'll just dig mass graves and we'll bury you. Because in the UK, in the USA, that's what happened. When the mass graves went out, they were putting them in incinerator and incinerating the bodies. People, my people are saying it. Please, please, please. Everybody's begging you. Dr. Wilkerson, Dr. Laws, Mr. Williams, the Honorable Prime Minister, his cabinet. Stop talking about vaccine rollout too quick. Nobody get up yesterday morning and decided to create a vaccine. It was in the workings a long time ago. Because as the year go by, we know that something is going to come rolling out at some point. Do the right thing, man. Stop behaving so now. Mr. Patrick, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for listening to me. Good night.
Thank you.
Yes, Brother Patrick. I don't really respond to people talking crap. And to Marsha.
Yeah, so where you want?
Take me, my neighbor string berry. Alright? I love St. Nevis more than you. And if you're an errand girl for certain political party, I don't care if it's Team Unity administration. That's your right. It's my right to speak. And let me tell you something, Marsha. I am more intelligent than you, and I could debate you at any time, anywhere,
I think I've heard that one.
Anytime you're ready, Marsha, because you don't make any sense whatsoever. You're just a paid agent.
I got you loud and clear.
Girl. So, Marsha,
I got you loud and clear, my brother.
More verbal fire because
Chill, I think I got that
your
loud and clear.
sister still, so...
Yes, I've got that. I got that loud and clear. After that intervention just now, with that intelligent intervention, I don't think we need to go down that road. I'll take a few emails. The alphabet you use reads this email. I'll have maybe one more call after this. The alphabet you use to indicate a radio propagandist was very good. He loved when his name is called, for he feels so consequential, and his boss is afraid of his rude and disrespectful mouth, for all he knows is indecent and foul language. He has embarrassed his boss so much, and he did not touch him, otherwise he would get some bad words. Read that email. This other email reads, everyone, or rather, that's the caption, everyone deserves respect. Good evening, Sir Patches. Regardless of this pandemic, people should not be made to feel their concerns are not warranted. They can't be made to feel like their opinions are going to be constantly disregarded. There is a division on all islands between vaccinated and unvaccinated, and persons bashing the unvaccinated will not solve this. Are we living with rights toward democracy, or is this now a dictatorship? The facts are still that this is an experimental pathogen, not a vaccine, and it can't be made mandatory. No one can be forced or coerced into taking it. The paper you have to sign says you volunteer to take it, so that if anyone has adverse reactions, the government and the vaccine makers are not held responsible. They say you catch more ants with sugar, not salt. If another vaccine can be made available, then what about an alternative? There are tablets that are curing COVID, and not one island has moved to secure any of these for their people. Your body is your temple, and you have every right to protect it at all costs. At the end of the day, whether you choose to take the vaccine or you decide not to, you will have to live with your decision. If your decision brings consequences, then you alone is who will bear it. Let's pray the cost is not death in either case. So that's the problem. Don't think you alone will have to bear it. That's the greatest concern. This other email reads, good night, Ambassador. I was not going to write this evening due to the fact that I did not want to get involved in this saga. I'm really not going to sit back and get involved. I'm very upset with people calling in and getting upset with people not taking the vaccine. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters, and we have all agreed not to take the vaccine. I am sick and fed up with people calling in and telling people to take the vaccine, Ambassador. I thought it was the person's fundamental right to take or not to take. I have read an article which said that Bill Gates has departed from his wife because she said that she cannot go any longer with the what's this he's saying, or the feasible premise of the vaccine, when it is really not vaccine. Melinda Gates said she is not in favor of the test of a vaccine. Mr. Ambassador, to each his own, and one should not be upset with people who take or not take. It has been said that the vaccine is to kill over 50 plus, and it has been said that 300,000 should be dead in Trinidad from the vaccine. What's that figure? How could that man refer to the callers of dumb? Suppose it's proven that persons who took the vaccine would be dead. Then who would find the dumb? He's a scientist. Please, for crying out loud, please, look in the mirror before you call anyone dumb. Read this other email. And this final email I'll read says, I would very much like you to ask your listeners to Google this. Nobel Prize winner, mass COVID vaccination, an acceptable mistake that is creating the variants. People should not be upset if one doesn't want to take the vaccination. To each his own. If something happens to all who take the vaccine, what would your callers say? This is a big question. There's a bigger question, though, my Straight Talk family. The question is that some people are not taking the vaccines, and what's really troubling is this.
And 9 adults between 33 to 49 years. We are working assiduously to contain this cluster of COVID-19 cases. This term, cluster of cases, aptly describes the current transmission pattern in the Federation.
I think that I want to play this though.
Are now 16 active cases.
It's now 19
the highest
though.
number since we started our COVID response. These cases include 7 children between the ages of 3 years and 15.
Yes, that's the point I want to make. 7 children between the ages of 3 and 15. And just again, for the sake of the listeners, the CMO in fact addressed the Cuban vaccine. She said this.
We will consider vaccines that have achieved the World Health Organization emergency use listing. So right now Cuba has about 4 to 5 vaccines under production. Now these are protein vaccines. They are very promising, but then the scientist tells you that the Cubans took time to understand the virus, to understand the disease before they started. So they started late. And so there are a number of months before we can have access to the Cuban vaccines because they have not completed the phase 3 trials as yet. And so right now they are vaccinated their persons at home in Cuba to see how the vaccine works. They are collaborating with Iran, Venezuela, Mexico, just to name a few. They're collaborating with other countries in order to get their phase 3 trials completed so that we can even know what the efficacy of these vaccines are. So a lot of information is still left to be known about the vaccine candidates coming out of Cuba. So it's going to be a few months before they would have achieved emergency use listing anywhere in the world.
And that's clear. So we have that call holding. I'm cautious to take it, but if you insist, I'll take it. I'll make it my last call.
Thanks for having me again.
Yes, caller.
It is a hot topic tonight and very interesting. But it is sweet. Debate is good, debate is sweet. Challenge is good. I wish that all those who are challenging this vaccine and being hardliners, they will really stop this thing. Those who don't want to take the vaccine, they're holding the country hostage because is the cry. The economy is going down, down, down. The only way for the economy to recover, okay, is to get the vaccine. Everywhere you go is a vaccine. But you know what? COVID is not the threat to St. Kitts and Nevis, you know, and anywhere else, versus those who are hardliners refuse to. Human is the greatest threat, not a nuclear bomb, not the COVID. Humans, and those humans who are speaking negativity, stupidness, foolishness, fangulo, those who understand them terms, they are the problem. It's not a matter of anyone against you. Majority says this is what works. Scientists has said this is what works. We all depend on scientists. God gave scientists the ability, the wisdom to understand. Not everyone who is understand. And what, I'm not going to call no names because there is a particular subject who was pushed in the back room because all of us are firing at him. And he failed to understand that he is behaving like a prima donna.
Okay, I think we have lost a call, but my time is done, my Straight Talk family, and I've got to run. I'm going to leave you with the real fact, though. We have two choices. Choice number one is we take the vaccine, and we have the AstraZeneca vaccine available. So we have to take the AstraZeneca vaccine and protect ourselves and save lives. Not just your life, other people's lives as well. The second choice is do not take the vaccine and possibly lose your life and cause other people to lose theirs. And that is the hard reality of this. And I like the position, the posture of the current cabinet and the leader in the cabinet who outlined his priority, which is absolutely clear.
Have to live with COVID-19 for the foreseeable future. And the most effective way of doing this will be to get ourselves and your loved ones vaccinated. My priority as your Prime Minister and leader of your Team Unity government is to ensure the health, safety and security of every citizen and resident of this federation.
And that's the top priority of the government. But the good news is, nonetheless, in spite of all that's been said, in spite of all that has happened, we have engaged on an aggressive contract tracing I should say, to get to the bottom of this. And we have to commend the COVID task force, we have to commend the health emergency operations as center staff and the National Emergency Operations Center staff. We have to commend them all for what they have done and continued to do with this latest outbreak.
In terms of the contact tracing, we've been, we've touched and tested yesterday, up until yesterday, over 700 persons, and today alone, we will be testing over 200 persons.
So, an aggressive contract tracing. And the good news as well is that over 2,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine have been administered in St. Kitts Nevis in the last 48 hours, in the last 2 days. And just today, over 1,000 250 vaccines or doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine was administered. Of that, some I think it's 900, over 900, or rather I should say 689 doses, the first doses were administered, and some 361 second dose vaccines were administered. So at least we are going in the right direction. Those who want to scare us, please do not allow them to do so, my Straight Talk family. Empower yourselves. Get the right information about the vaccine and get the right choice, my Straight Talk family. The virus is back in the country, and we may have clusters, or we already have clusters. The fact is, if you are immunized, if you are not vaccinated, then you will be exposed to the virus, and this in turn exposes our health facilities. Those are seriously infected and have to be hospitalized. My Straight Up family, put a right head on your body. A stitch in time saves 9. Prevention is better than cure. Faith without works is dead. My Straight Talk family, I'm going to leave you as well with the words of the late is it Rogers, Adrian Rogers, I think I said before, and his book, The Autopsy of a Dead Faith. In his book he wrote, man is saved by faith alone, but the faith that saves is never alone. Take the vaccine, my brother. Take the vaccine, my sister. Take the vaccine and save all of us. It's better to be safe than to be sorry. My time is done. I gotta run. And I want to thank Theo Clark for his indulgence there, my brother. Don't you move your dial. Theo Clark, the mayor of St. Paul's, is already in the house, and he's gonna woo you or swoon you with his lovely music. I want to thank those in the background, Beverly Wilkinson and John James. They are the ones who make this possible, this Straight Talk broadcast. I want to apologize for our many callers and the difficulties we had, technical difficulties we had with our telephones. But I, first of all, must thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, and as always, I want to thank you, the many callers. I want to thank the emailers. I want to thank those on the Facebook or the social media. Remember, all of you make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. Until we connect for another edition of Straight Talk, be good to yourselves and all to whom you meet. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, my Straight Talk family. And remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday. Keep moving on, my Straight Talk family.